Welcome back to the Mindset Masterclass channel, the home of high-quality content covering entrepreneurship, investing, and personal finance. The 10 items on this list are things which prevent you from making progress in your entrepreneurial journey and need to be eliminated. Successful business people are able to overcome these productivity-sapping obstacles. Number 1 on our list is endless scrolling on social media. Don't fool yourself into thinking that spending time reading motivational quotes on Instagram is productive, because it really isn't. The people who post this type of content often haven't got much going on in their lives other than trying to make it look like they're doing better than they are. It's easy to fall into the trap of social media scrolling. I've been guilty of this myself and had to introduce a strict no social media before work rule. The problem with social media apps is that they are designed to keep you on their platforms for as long as possible, because that way they get to show you much more advertising and sponsored content, which is how they make money. There have been many times when I've watched one video on Facebook or YouTube and then I find myself in a loop of content because the platform is automatically playing the next video based on my interests. The algorithms on these platforms are very clever. They know how to keep you hooked. I'd suggest to anyone who wants to be truly successful in business, concentrate on being a content creator rather than a content consumer. Check out our video all about this concept. Second on our list is the distraction of messaging and group chats. Are you in a group chat with friends and find yourself always being notified when someone sends a message to the group? Do you feel that you have to check regularly so you're not left out of the conversation? My advice to you would be to turn off notifications for all but the most important people in your life. You can always switch them back on when you have free time. True friends will understand that you have goals to achieve and won't be offended if you take time to respond. You must also ask yourself, if your friends seem to have plenty of time on their hands to send trivial messages back and forth, are they really the sort of people you want to surround yourself with? You'll find as your entrepreneurial journey progresses, you'll naturally gravitate to people with similar interests and attitudes to you. It's healthy for friendship groups to evolve over time, so don't feel too bad if you start to lose contact with people who might be holding you back in your progress. Number 3. Not leaving the comfort zone. If you always stick to what you know, you'll never grow. Life's challenges are what test our resolve and help us to grow as individuals. Our confidence in all aspects of life, not just entrepreneurship, grows when we overcome a difficult situation. It's with this newfound confidence and skill level from mastering a difficult task or overcoming a tough situation that we can go on to achieve greater accomplishments. It's similar to training for a marathon or setting a new weightlifting record in the gym. We have to start to run longer distances or lift heavier weights than we're used to if we're ever going to achieve those goals. Fourth on the list is being a perfectionist. Things don't have to be perfect. Some people are scared to even start their journey because they have insecurities about minor things. Perhaps it's that they're not confident in their abilities or that they're hung up on something about the way they look. To allow yourself to be held back by insecurities or the need for perfection is the biggest tragedy in business. Nobody gets it right first time. Look at how many businesses have failed before trying again. It's not unusual to get it wrong many times before finally succeeding. You should use your failures to motivate you to find what works for you, rather than using your failures to justify giving up. Even those who have found massive success have not necessarily got it right from the beginning. Many companies change course over time because they feel what they are doing isn't quite right. The only way to learn what works for you is to first learn what doesn't work. Item 5. Not getting enough sleep. The problem with not getting enough sleep is you never get suitably rested, and this impacts not just the quality of your work, but your enthusiasm for it too. Don't listen to the internet gurus preaching 18-hour workdays with just a few short hours for sleep. It's simply not sustainable. Instead, define your work hours within each day and stick to it. Make sure your workload doesn't stop you from getting enough sleep, otherwise the quality of your work will suffer. What's the point in staying up until the early hours of the morning working if the work you do is substandard? Focus on how to structure your workdays so you get the most out of them without compromising your well-deserved downtime. A healthy, rested mind and body are the absolute foundation for success in any aspect of life. 6 on our list, Over-analysing everything. Many of us have a tendency to overthink. Perhaps you get overly anxious or spend hours or days on end stressing about different aspects of your life or business. I'll tell you what works for me when I find myself overthinking things to do with my career. I visualize the thoughts or concerns as being physical objects like bubbles or clouds hovering around my head. I acknowledge their existence, but I don't let them get too close. Instead, I visualize them passing by peacefully. It's not our job to control our thoughts, but we do have to control our actions. So instead of getting stressed about every single one of our business's faults or failings, concentrate on how we can react to them in a constructive way. Don't allow the concerns to overwhelm you. Just tackle them one at a time. Here is the key. You're the boss of the time spent working on your business, and as long as you're in control, the doubts and concerns cannot overcome you. By putting in place a plan to work on your business, you can overcome the negative thought patterns and insecurities about your career. Item 7 is procrastinating. I like to tackle all of my biggest tasks first thing in the morning. It means I can't put them off until later and then conveniently run out of time. If I have something to do which I find uncomfortable or difficult, I make sure it's the first thing I do in the working day. That way I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day, and therefore it doesn't affect my mood and the rest of my work. In fact, the relief of getting it done makes my day more positive. I hate having something hanging over me like the pressure to get something done. Obstacle to productivity number 8 is saying yes to everything. Sometimes it can feel very hard to say no, especially if it's a request from someone you work well with. Perhaps it's a client who's asking more from you than you would normally give, or perhaps it's the distraction of friends trying to get you to take time off to go out drinking with them. Friends and family are important, of course, and I'll be willing to bet that many of you work as hard as you do so that eventually you have more freedom to spend time with them. However, there are certain times in your career where you have to be firm with people and say no. If a colleague or client is asking you to work harder or go above and beyond, you'll probably not want to disappoint them. But the problem is, where does it end? You must set clear boundaries in order to prevent people from taking advantage. You'll notice that people will respect you more when you are more firm with your boundaries. Number 9. Not taking breaks. This ties in nicely with the earlier point about getting enough sleep. You need time away from your career, time to cool down and take a breather. By taking a step back, we can see how far we've come and then truly appreciate our progress. This gives us more energy and enthusiasm to continue. Don't make the mistake of continuously working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, for months on end. Yes, entrepreneurship involves sacrifice and you will at times be swamped with work, but you owe it to yourself and the success of your business to allow some time off. Think of it like this. Sacrifice some time working on your goals to have a break, and then when you return, your energy and productivity levels will be higher and lead to a higher quality of work and greater successes in your career. You're actually harming your career by not taking a break regularly. Even if you don't feel like you need a break, force yourself to have the occasional time off. This could be fitting in an extra hour or two for exercise, food, and watching a bit of TV, or it could be taking a day or two at the end of each month to go away or pursue a hobby. Finally, number 10, not being able to delegate effectively. People who work for businesses have the advantage of having people who they can ask for help, perhaps interns or junior members of staff. Employers generally expect their staff to make the most efficient use of their time and provide the organisation with the greatest level of productivity and encourage their staff to delegate tasks to achieve this. Seeing as this channel is all about entrepreneurship, I'm going to frame this for those who work for themselves. If you don't have staff, perhaps you have not long been in business or choose to work alone. Don't forget, you can get many tasks done by freelancers. The good thing about hiring someone on a one-off basis to complete a task is that if you pick the right person, they will be experienced and specialised in what they do. If you run a business selling physical products on the internet, you're probably far too busy with sourcing the products and getting them listed for sale. You may not want to occupy yourself with things like search engine optimization, graphic design, or email marketing, but there are freelancers online who are skilled in these fields. A great place to find freelancers to fulfill a wide variety of tasks is on Fiverr.com. I've been using this site for many years now and am always amazed by the quality of the work I pay for. Why struggle to complete a task you're not that familiar with when someone else can do it more efficiently for you? You could save both the time and money by just hiring someone to do the task. I'll put a link in the description so you can find out more about this amazing hub of creativity. If you've enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the Mindset Masterclass channel so you don't miss any of our videos on investing, entrepreneurship, and personal finance. Let us know in the comment section which of the items on the list you've been able to overcome and which you're still working on.